What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. I want to thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button and show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, couple things here before we start. One, I've removed the pop filter off my mic because it's always in my eyes and I'm like looking through it to my screen and it bugs me. So if it sounds a little different, maybe that's why. Hopefully it's not bad. But also, before we jump into talking about today's events and doing a little bit of stuff for the event actually today, we have a new record on the channel. A brand new record. Today we have not one, not two, not even three, nay is it four, but 5 new patrons all at once, which is absolutely crazy. Just insane amounts of support, which is I super much appreciate it. So today we're going to give thanks to 5 people. Starting with, we're going to start with, I'm pretty sure about, okay, start things out here. I'm pretty sure about all these names but one. One I'm a little bit, I'm not sure about. So we're going to start things out here with Isaiah Wolk. I feel pretty good about that. Then we have a strange one. We've got YT, Wild Oatmeal. Now it's not domesticated oatmeal. This is the wild stuff. So that's hot news. I'm pretty confident I got it right, but I'm also a little bit, I don't know, I'm worried about that person, okay? With that said, we have Hunter Mitchell as well. Thank you very much. And moving on, this is my danger zone. I'm pretty sure about the first name. We got Mikey. Mikey sounds about right. Hard to mess Mikey up. The last one, I'm going to wager a guess here at Islava? Islava? I feel like that's probably close. So anyways, appreciate it either way. If I can't say your name, does not mean I do not appreciate you. And finally, last, but certainly not least, we have Justin O'Keefe. So, hey, I feel pretty confident in most of those names. And even if I got your name wrong, I just want you to know I very much appreciate your support for the channel. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. What you do for the channel does help keep the channel running, and I very much appreciate it. You keep the YouTube dream alive for me, and that's very important. Very important to me because I love what I do. So, with that said, big thank you to you 5. You guys are absolutely amazing. Let's get into today's video. So, almost ran out of breath there. That was a lot of talking. With that said, though, like I said, we got the new events today, and instead of like spending tons and tons of time talking about it, because they're pretty, they're pretty cut and dry. We understand how the events run by now. If you're new, it's pretty straightforward. A little bit of reading, you'll get it. You'll get it. We'll talk very shortly about the heroes on offer. I'm not going to go crazy in detail on them. It'll be kind of quick. And today I want to actually get to doing at least one part of the event. We're going to do a little bit of the heroic miracle. I'm not going to be able to fully complete it because I don't have 2 dark heroes right yet. I'll have to wait till I complete the Prophet Summon event and grab this dude out here to be able to actually complete the event. So, in the meantime, let's get talking about some stuff. First up thing you're going to notice here is the Lantern Festival package. I believe the Lantern Festival is like the last day of the Chinese New Year. It's like signaling the new year or something. I'm like 4% sure about that, so don't quote me on it. But I think that's kind of what it is. So this is kind of signifying that we're now in the new year. But anyways, with all that said, pretty solid package. As you can see, Wrath already bought it because I'm a dirty spender and I buy things. But it's actually a pretty solid deal. So for 20 bucks, you get 1,000 gems, which is actually on par with what you would normally get. If you scroll down here, 10 bucks is 500 gems. So it's actually on par with the gems. However, instead of pulling 6 orbs out of it like you would from here, you're going to snag 10. So you get an extra 4 profit orbs out of it and an elite 5-star hero. So a really solid package there if you're into spending. It's actually pretty good. That's why I picked it up. Then your value packages, they're the same as normal. As you see, $100 down to the $10, varying in the goodness. But yeah, there you go. Simple stuff. It's out of the way. The summon event, you guys know how to do this. You drop orbs into the tree, and the tree gives you points and heroes, and then you get points, and you get points, and you get stuff. Strangely enough, in this event, you actually grab 2 forest heroes. You get one in shard form here. Shard form. And you're going to get a Demon Hunter down here at 60 points. Usually it's supposed to give you 1 from every faction. Unfortunately, in this event, you don't get any Fortress heroes. So if you are short in Fortress, you might have to drop a couple of orbs in the Fortress faction to finish out the Heroic Miracle if you're short for that deal. But either way, you're going to grab some stuff as usual. Light and Dark 4-star for the 10 points. Not a huge thing. The 5-star start at 20. You get the Grass, you get the Fire, you get the Dark, you get the Light, you get the Grass, you get the Shadow. And you get the relics, and that's kind of the big deal because I like the relics. The relics are important. And with that said, moving down to the Heroic Miracle, the same as always. 2 light, 2 dark 5-star heroes going to grab you kind of the big daddy rewards-ish. The 3-star gear and 10 total profit orbs. Very important, I would say, to always be ready for this light and dark portion of Heroic Miracle if possible, because that's going to help you actually complete the Prophet Summon event in and of itself. So it's definitely a nice thing to be, ready for when the the Prophet Summon event comes around. It's going to help you if you haven't been able to complete the event, but if you have completed it, it gets you started on next time, so not a bad deal. And then, as always, your regular faction heroes, you need 3 5-stars from every faction. It's going to snag you out some 2-star gear, but also 24 total heroic summons, which again, it's not a huge amount of heroic summons in scope of how much it takes to complete the events, but it's heroic summons. Take them. Take them and be merry. Be joyful. Be joyful. And then finally up here, we've got the Grey Dwarf's Blessing. Now, here's Wrath's little deal. I never use this node because it's kind of a waste in my opinion. If you just save up the 4-star gear that you naturally get from events like the Mysterious Chest events, the Shelter mission, stuff like that, you can fuse your own 5-star gear setup for like, I don't know, it's like 8 or 10 million gold, and you end up saving yourself some gold, some gems, and you can just make that 5-star set on your own. Then you take that 5-star set and actually put the 5-star set into the event, make your 6-star set, take your 6-star set, make it class specific, and that's kind of how I like to run it. So I'm pretty excited about this because I need to get the mage gear for Ada, because it's going to be kind of important. With that said, let's talk about the heroes on offer. Totally forgot to mention, you get the KB, the old angry dwarf, who's actually the dwarf who smashes things into amazing gear sets for you in this event for completing Heroic Miracle, so keep that in mind. The 3 heroes we're going to talk about real quick, like, boop, Demon Hunter, Jorah, and KB. Boom, that's what we're going to go for. So let's make it fast. Let's make it snappy. Jorah. Jorah. She's a thing. Essentially, Jorah is a PvP hero. That's kind of how she works. She's not super fast, but she's decently fast, and she does drop pretty solid damage. I've seen Jorah's drop over 20 million damage in PvP, which is a pretty impressive feat in PvP, normally. Now, you can get Valks dropping huge amounts of damage, depending on how long the battles go and stuff, but essentially, she has some crowd control here on her active skill, which is, of course, great for PvP, but she also drops some pretty nice damage as well. So she can do kind of a dual role for you, kind of marrying crowd control with some decent damage output. So she's not a bad unit for that. When it comes to PvE or boss fighting, she doesn't hit as hard as a lot of other units are going to because she's not really specified for it. However, she does have some decent carryover into boss fights because she does have a decent amount of damage on her active skill with a little bit of a damage over time effect as well. So while she's not going to be insane in the PvE area, I've never seen Jorah's drop like super ridiculous damage there. She will do okay, and that's not bad. For a PvP unit, having some carryover is not a bad deal. Passives, not bad again if you're looking for the attack steal, which is pretty important. It helps you a lot in PvP because your enemies don't hit you as hard. But when it comes to boss fighting, again, this does have some utility because if you can keep the boss from hitting your team really hard and killing your team, not a bad deal. Not a bad thing. Run-of-the-mill passive, attack, crit HP, just kind of, good stuff. Can't go wrong there. And her final passive is going to give her a little bit of utility in things like the Aspen Dungeon, and of course, I guess, everywhere as well. When she gets hit by a skill, she has a 50% chance to heal herself for 280% of her attack as HP, and a 50% chance to increase her own energy by 30. So, pretty solid little last passive there. Kind of helps keep her alive in the Aspen Dungeon. I believe Jorah can reach Hell at E3. I've never done it personally, but I've seen people that claim it. They claim it, and I'm going to trust them. But that's Jorah. Pretty much PvP hero, some PvE carryover usage, but, I wouldn't say she's nearly the dual role unit that the newer launched heroes are, like Valkyrie or, Aspen, Ada. Of course, that's just kind of how it works. But with that said, boom, Jorah completed. Let's move on here to King Barton. We've talked about him before, so like I said, I'm not going to try to go crazy in detail on this. I'm going to go pretty quick on it. But King Barton, primarily a PvP hero, but he does have uses in the Aspen Dungeon, of course, once you get him to E3. Pretty solid there with his survival with the Resilience passive. He also works pretty nice in the Tower of Oblivion because he has crowd control, which is always a nice deal. But the big thing about King Barton that's probably his selling points, first up, his active skill gives him reduced damage and also boosts his attack, which is pretty handy, especially since his basic attack stuns people, has a chance to stun people. We'll quotation marks, can stun people. He also does more damage to stunned people. And he also has some control immunity, which is never a bad deal for PvP. So he boosts his own reduced damage, making himself tankier, gives himself attack, stuns people with his basic attack, does more damage to stun people, and also anytime he gets hit, he hits all of the enemies for 150% of his attack as damage. This is pretty powerful. it used to be that his counterattack actually fed energy to the enemy team, and that was kind of his downfall, like, because he could feed energy, he could feed skill attacks pretty much to the enemy team. Well, they removed that a while back. Now his counterattacks do not give energy, so made him quite a bit better in terms of PvP. Very solid PvP unit, solid in the tower, and at E3, quite solid in the Aspen dungeon. Not quite sure how 10-star, E1 and E2 fare in the Aspen, because I haven't, used him there yet. I'm going to build one on this account, so, it's going to be built. But when it comes to boss damage, while he's not like a crazy good boss fighter in terms of actual raw damage output, he does get out damaged by a lot of units. The big saving grace for King Barton, especially in things like Pray for Fire, where you're fighting 3 enemies, is the fact that he will hit all 3 enemies with his counterattack, which is kind of nice, and he's naturally a pretty tanky unit, so he can survive pretty well. So he will likely last your 15 rounds when you have him maxed out, and he will put up pretty decent damage for being a PvP-based unit. So that's kind of something to keep in mind there. For somebody whose main role is crowd control and kind of PvP stuff, he does work really well. It's staying alive, doing decent damage against bosses, not crazy good, and obviously that carries pretty over, well to the Seal Land as well. So, King Barton, bang, he's the thing. And then finally on the list, beep, we got the Demon Hunter. 2 bows, only shoots 1 because she's awesome. Anyways, what's Demon Hunter up to? For a long time, she was probably considered one of the most meta units in the game. Everybody used her because A, she's very fast, and B, she has a pretty high chance to silence enemies. Plus, she gains control immunity and damage reduction for 2 rounds. Not bad. But primarily, again, this is going to be a PvP unit with, of course, working in the Tower of Oblivion as well, because they kind of share a lot of similarities. The Tower and PvP do, at least. So she had a lot of utility there until, I would say, recently, where she's kind of fallen off. Now, I'm not saying she's useless there. I can definitely see teams that would still be able to use a Demon Hunter, especially a Rainbow team if you didn't want to use Valkyrie. Pairing up a Demon Hunter with an Aspen would give you both Silence, which keeps people from casting their active skills, and also Horrify, which keeps people from using their basic attacks and only allows them to use active skills. So essentially, between Demon Hunter and Aspen together in a team, you would have a solid CC. You would have someone that couldn't do anything because they were both silenced and horrified at the same time. So does she have potential still? Yes. On her own, however, she's very weak. She used to be, like I said, she used to be everywhere, but with Valkyrie coming out, most of the times, if I'm like really underpowered when I'm fighting somebody in the arena, if they have units like Michelle, Dark Arthidal, and Demon Hunter, and all I have is the E3 Valkyrie, I can almost guarantee I will win the fight. Because they can't do enough damage, they just kind of keep healing my Valkyrie with their weak crowd control, and it becomes impossible for them to kill her. I've done it many times, had my Valkyrie drop like 40, 50 million damage in a PvP fight. The attacker loses, not because I killed them, but because they could not kill my Valkyrie. So in that current kind of meta, she does not do very well. However, like I said, if you want to tag team her with an Aspen and something like that, you can definitely still get results out of her because Aspen kind of counters Valkyrie anyway with really heavy nuke damage. But either way, primarily a PvP unit, very little carryover into PvE, not very great boss damage. She has a little bit of damage over time here on her basic attack. You would say, that's pretty decent damage. It's not really. You'd have to build her strictly for damage, and since she's really fast and her main use is PvP, it's just not a very smart build. So, like I said, she's one of those mid-tier units that I'd say you could definitely work into a team, but she's not going to make or break your team. So with that said, there's your 3 heroes on offer. And what are we going to do extra than this today? We're going to pull out some heroes out of our bag. All right, we're going to start kind of pushing our way to the Heroic Miracle. We're not going to be able to finish it. Like I said, we're not quite there. But I've got some stuff stashed away. We're going to save the regular 5-star shards, primarily because we're going to get more of them. When we drop our Prophet summons here, we got 88, yay! But when we drop these, we're going to get more of these branches, which we got a buttload saved back. We'll probably using these event, maybe. Yeah, I'll probably try. Maybe I'll try to chase Valentino copies or something. We'll see. But also, it's going to give us more 5-star shards. So I'm just going to save these until we're ready to open all of them. And we'll probably open all of these up when we do our summon energy. So we'll have, around about Well, we won't be able to get that many heroics as I spin them, which I won't. So we got 9 heroes sitting in here, and then whatever we end up with in here as well to get me some more food. We'll use that food to make 9 stars and make 10 stars and make E1s and great stuff like that. But in the meantime, we're going to pull out everything else that's 5 stars. So from the Shadow deal all the way down to the Walter deal, we're snagging it out. We're snagging it out today. Ooh, look, a hot field. It's a good time to talk about. I had an idea. Now, it's not an idea about gameplay change, so everybody calm down out there. It's like, Wrath, you're dumb. But also, since I said something, I also have to say something else about that. The other day, I talked about my little plan, my idea for the feeding copies into heroes to make E3s plus a certain number. You know what, we're going to take a second to talk about it, because now I got myself talking, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do it. And a lot of people said, Wrath, all you do if you implement that system is you just make, whales stronger, which in my opinion doesn't matter. Whales are always going to be stronger. But you essentially keep the imbalance the exact same. Because if you have 2 E3 plus 12 heroes, they're going to be exactly where they are pretty much now. Whereas, Horus at E3 plus 12 will beat any other E3 plus 12 in the Shadow faction pretty much most of the time. So I thought instead, through some people's suggestions and talking, this is why you talk about ideas, because people can give you feedback, and that's what I was going for, is instead have a system where, based on what type of hero it is, so for example, Horus is an elite 5-star hero, cap him. Have him only able to go up to E3 plus 4. And then have heroes that aren't elite, say, for example, not Bone General, but someone like Obeyed here, have him able to go up to E3 plus 8. And this way you kind of bring a little bit of balance back to the game, because you give older heroes a little bit stronger passives, a little bit stronger active skills than their elite counterparts, and you can kind of help even out the playing field without breaking the game. And the thing is, it still allows for power creep, because if you decide, you know what, E3 plus 4s and E3 plus 8s aren't enough anymore, then you can drop your elite heroes to go E3 plus 8, and your E3 regular heroes go to E3 plus 12. And you can kind of keep it that way. That's just kind of my idea, just while we were on the subject. But also, what I was actually kind of talking about when I was doing these, let's save those elite shards for last, because they're mysterious. They're mysterious, and I like it. Let's grab out these Cthulhu's. Delicious. Some Shia copies. But what I was thinking is starting a third account now. Grab out those Michelle's. But on this new account, there would be a limiting factor. And that limiting factor would, it not be free to play, because that's just boring as balls for me and it makes terrible content. But what it would be is I would limit myself to mid-tier heroes and below. Nothing god tier, nothing elite. Well, I mean, elite, quote unquote, yes, but not god tier. So, you wouldn't see me building, what the crap? There we go. That's weird. It said it fixed it where it didn't go back to the top, but it totally did on me. But using heroes that are generally considered more fodder tier or mid-tier units, and use just those on the account all the way to E3 and kind of see what we could get out of it. Just kind of an idea. Now, the one exception to the rule, because obviously the account would be completely useless in PvP, let's be honest about things, is that I would allow it to have a Heart Watcher. Because without Heart Watcher, you're never going to do really great against bosses. And I just feel like that would be like the one unit that kind of has to be in there. She's not a god in terms of she's good everywhere. She's really only a god in PvE. That's her only role. But if you want to do decent boss damage, you have to have one. It's kind of a rule, because you're not really going to get the amazing boss damage output without one. But the idea was using things that you don't see anymore in the game, really, in any kind of upper level. So building someone like Edga. No one sees Edga in in-game content. He's a mid-tier hero. He's kind of fun, but no one uses him. He's big, cool Rhino Man, all right? And since the recent update to Precision, it'd be a kind of fun thing to test. Build him up, see what he can kind of do. And things like, you don't really see a lot of Roses anymore. Grus have kind of died away. Things like Molassa. Just heroes that have kind of died off. Even old things like Bade himself at E3. Something like that. Just kind of an account that limits itself to not being able to use things like Valkyrie, Horus, Jorah, these top tier units that you see everywhere, and kind of see what I can make happen, at least in the boss area of the game. Kind of push the Seal Land, the Tower, the Aspen Dungeon, and see where I can get a team that's built primarily of mid and low tier heroes, what you can actually do with them. So it's something I kind of thought I might want to do. Let me know what you guys think. Do you want to see something like that, or is that going to be like a big fat for you guys? I don't know. But now we're down to the last two things we're going to do here. We're going to snag it. We're so close to being able to buy, another one. Question. Seal land. Shop. Can you buy these in bulk? Oh, you can. 20. Oh, not 30. Fingers, listen to me. We could do 20. That would be 3 elite 5-star heroes just. And since they are the exact same price to buy one shard or buy all the shards, we're going to do it that way. So let's go ahead, let's snag that out. I didn't even think about that, but it actually works out pretty well. And one thing I do kind of want to do, I'm not going to lie here, is because it annoys me. It does. That you can look at these and you can't, there's no magnifying glass here. Like if you view elite shards outside of your bag, you can't see what's in them. So just for funsies' sake, I'm going to buy one, like so and like so and like so, just so I always have one shard left over in my bag. So whenever Wrath is like, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to see what's in this. You can just click on it and see, oh, look, Aspen's in there. That's super hot and super attractive. You look in here and you're like, oh, where's Ada? Well, she's not in there yet, so whatever. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's fun. I enjoy that. Let's go ahead and start summoning out our elite 5-star amazingness. And let's hope for things that are not here down, or here down, or here down, or actually here down. We'll see what we get. So let's go ahead and summon one at a time because that's more fun. Ooh, a Cruise. I would be actually excited for this if I didn't have this. Oh, wrong button. Over here. Do you see this? Do you see this amount of Cruises? I've got more than enough of the Cruises. Okay, I've got a Cruise up here, and I've got 7, 8, 9. I got 10 Cruises. I've got plenty of the Cruise. Don't need any more of those dudes. Same with Cthulhu. I'm just swimming in Cthulhu copies because I regressed mine earlier. So, someone out there's like, I need a Cruise. Well, I wish if I could donate you a Cruise, I would. I would donate you 3 of Cruise because I'm just that kind of guy. So anyways, let's do this again. Bloodblade. I don't know. Would Bloodblade fit in mid-tier usage now? Because he's not really... You don't see a lot of in-game Bloodblades. Oh, there's a Flame Strike. I've got buttloads of those as well. Look at this. Look at the Flame Strike situation. I got 6 Flame Strikes and a 9-star Flame Strike. There's everywhere. I'm just swimming in Flame Strike copies. But I kind of wonder, I guess I'd have to ask you guys if I did start the account, like if I was like, if I'm going to build Bloodblade, is that allowed? Because Bloodblade is, I'll be honest with you, he's not really in-game quality. You don't see in-game people running Bloodblade anymore. It's just not a thing. Same thing with like Walter, he's kind of a mid-tier unit. But honestly, if I was going to do the account, I'd be running more for PvE damage anyway, because it's not going to be a competitive PvP account if you're not using elite heroes. Not going to be a thing. So I don't know, we'll see. Look at that. 360 out of 360 space. We could not have done that better if we had tried. Let's grab some of this stuff out. So we got everything here. Let's just claim it all because that's what makes me happy inside. Claim everything. Give me all the stuff. Scrolls, orbages. And to make everyone happy, nice and clean and fresh as a baby's bottom. There it is. But that gets us some stuff. They didn't change the space any, but we got enough. We can fuse our 5-star setup for the blacksmith event. We're going for the mage set for Ada, like I said earlier. We got 167 scrolls again, because I did not finish out my second run last time. I left it at 404 points. I didn't go to 500. I didn't need the relics, and I didn't really care to get the Chinese knots or anything. So I just saved them for the next heroic summon event because brain. I was poking myself in the head, but since you can't see that, it lost its meaning. Anyways, whatever. Not important. 93 profit summons. What I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to do a double completion this event. That's kind of my game plan. And I'm thinking, I hate to run in Fortress because I've had literally the worst luck ever. Orbing Fortress, replacing Fortress. I just never have good luck there, literally ever. It just doesn't work for me very much. I was thinking about going Abyss and trying to snag a King Barton copy so I could get an E3 King Barton eventually down the road somewhere in some place. Or going Forest and trying to grab some Heartwatcher copies to get her to E3 eventually down the road somewhere someplace. But I need to get a 9-star hero built here as well to 10-star my Ada. Now we're pretty close to 10-starring Ada. Some people will be upset, so like, Wrath, you feed Bell Rain, I'm gonna slap you right in the mouth. I'll slap you right in the face. You might have to. Just being honest, there may be some slappage that goes right in Wrath's face. Because honestly, I'm not going to build Belrain on this account unless for some ridiculous reason I decide to go GVE, which I really don't plan to because it's I don't know, it's such a restrictive aura. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very restrictive. If you're going good versus evil, you only get to use 2 factions in the game, and it kind of makes all the other content in the game less fun. Because, I mean, I guess you can always come back and build these later, but you're looking at huge amounts of investment for GVE. It's not a team you just pop up in a couple of months and are like, look, I got GVE. You're talking thousands of dollars if you want to do it in any kind of realistic time frame. And it's just, to me, it's too restrictive. There's just not enough variation in light and dark units to make that even fun. So I'm probably not going to push a GVE team, at least not for a long time. But I'll probably feed Belrain out, because by the time I go for a GVE team, there will be probably a new hero that has replaced Belrain. It's just how it works right now. But I think, what do we got here? We get a new hero or something? Amivore and Shia. I guess I never pulled those out of the bag. Well, we got them now. 100% got them now. But yeah, we're looking decent in fodder situation. Not quite to a 9-star here. I need a few more 5-star shadows to get to that, but you never know after the orbs and the opening all those 5-star shards and the energy in our heroic summon place, we might be able to get enough to make a 9-star here. In terms of fortress, we're actually very close. Very, very, very close. So I'm planning on, if you guys don't know, I'm going to ditch Flame Strike for Valentino. That's my initial game plan, because Flame Strike, like she's okay, but I'm not into it. I don't dig her that much because I really just don't like the way she looks in general. But also, if I'm ditching Cthulhu out of my team, which I am, she loses pretty much all of her value because I don't have anything else that really burns in my team at all. Nothing burns, in fact. So she kind of loses all of her value in that way anyway. So I'm probably just going to ditch her for a Valentino, get some more stun synergy on my team when I build up my King Barton, because King Barton's cool, and I like King Barton. So we're probably going to go up in-game. We'll have Horus, we'll have Valentino, King Barton, whoever the new Forest unit becomes in April, and then Aspen and Ada for the initial Rainbow team. And of course, after that, that's when the game, to me, gets kind of more build what you want to build, because you've already got your aura for PvP, and it comes down to, do I want to sneak in, say, I don't know, an E3 Sheer, an E3 Sigma to kind of try to maximize my damage output, stuff like that. So we'll see how that turns out. But for nowsies, I think that's going to be it for today. Now, normally when it comes to these videos for the new week, I just talk about the event and that's it. But because a lot of people are like, Wrath, why don't you do something? I decided today we would do something. And so we did. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button and show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well and tell your friends about it, because that definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.